Welcome back to my channel. Today's discussion will be about Series 10. This series came out in, I believe, the fall of 2005, in the same year as Series 9, to mark the distinction of being the 10th series in Living Dead Dolls run. Not the 10th anniversary, just the 10th series. They changed the clear coffin lid, which has the letters Living Dead Dolls. They changed it to red print instead of the traditional silver or white print that's on the coffin lids. This series is sometimes called Series X, as in the Roman numeral 10. X, the Roman numeral for 10 is X. It was even in their promo picture, which is pretty cool. And as a collector, they're not the most popular series 10, but I do feel as a collector that these dolls individually have something special about them that's worth having in your collection. And what's great about Series 10, unlike Series 9, all these dolls are attainable. So if you're getting into collecting Living Dead dolls, these are really great starter point dolls for your collection. So with that being said, let's get into Series 10. Now, the first doll I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to go to great lengths because I did talk about her extensively in my video of Living Dead dolls based on real people, and that is Tina Black. Now, Tina Black, again, highly recommend watching that video. Really quick, she is based on an actual fan and friend of the guys. Even her look, this beautiful dress, and her black hat is something the actual Tina wore at a convention. The only major difference is the hat is very plain compared to what Tina had in her outfit. I wish they, I don't know, just at least put a little crossbone or something, or even a feather in the hat. Because she had like a feather, she had like skulls. I mean, it was really cool. It was a really cool outfit. And her death date is her birthday. She has a peg hole. Actually, they all have a peg hole in the hand. They don't come with any accessories, which again is a letdown when you compare to the overall design of Series 9. The fact that not only they don't come with any accessories, but they're pretty much bare bones in terms of design. Again, when you compare it to Series 9. She has curly hair, which the same style that Tina had. She had this long curly hair. And she has this screaming face, probably not accurate of Tina's face. You know, they had to change it up a bit to make her a Living Dead doll. And as I mentioned in my video discussing her at length, I can't think of anything cooler than to have a doll based on me as a fan. Like, that is such a cool honor, and I'm sure that's something she probably tells her kids, and her kids can tell her grandkids. You know, just such a cool story. And she doesn't cost much. I paid for her $55, and she goes for $50 to $60. And all of Series 10, they all come with death certificates and chipboards, of course. And that's it. That's all they come with. And that's all I have to say for Tina Black. The next doll I want to talk about is Arachne. Now, Arachne she's a funky doll in that her look and her death certificate seem to clash. So the death certificate, it seems like a spider got into a body, and thus Arachne was born, which is kind of weird. And her name is based on a Greek mythology story of Arachne, the character of the same name. She challenged Athena to a weaving contest, and she beat the goddess. And of course, the gods and gods of Mount Olympus are very petty, so she turned poor Arachne into a spider. And her design is so cute. It's very reminiscent of Dottie Rose, who also had like a 50s aesthetic. She has this amazing dress with this embroidered spider. So it's not painted on, it's actually part of the dress, so it won't peel as the years go on, which is really cool. She comes with this little scarf. Her hair is in a simple ponytail, which I wish they put a red ribbon like they did with Toxic Molly with her ribbon pigtails. Her rubber band will disintegrate after some time, which is a common thing for older Living Dead dolls. You can easily replace it. And she has this widow's peak as part of the design of her hair. Her face is so pretty. I just love the screening of this doll. And the cute little spider. Her shoes are very similar to Kitty, the cheerleader from Series 2. And she has this little petticoat underneath that gives her skirt volume. And in the waist is like a velvet material. All one piece. Just such a cute dress. And her chipboard, if you read her chipboard, it's to the melody of the Itsy Bitsy Spider. So very spider theme. I just wish, you know, like her death day, for example, it's the year 1603 BC. So she has no date, no month, but yet her look is 50s, which makes no sense. But again, she's a very affordable doll. I feel she's underrated in the series. I paid $37 and she goes about $50 to $70 on the secondary market. And that's Arachne. Next doll will be the only boy of the group, Wolfgang. This is another one whose design is just, it just feels phoned in when you compare him to the earlier boy dolls. He, according to his death certificate, is possessed. And I just felt like he's one of those kids that goes around trick-or-treating and did the basic Halloween makeup just so he could say, "Trick or treat, where's my candy?" And he has these painted scratch marks, which is not part of the mold. He has this cute sweater. I love his sweater. He's usually paired or shipped with another character in another series, Jasper, who also has a similar look. He has corduroy pants. He comes with socks, basic shoes. And like I said, his backstory is that he's possessed, and I just feel he's just there. Again, he's a cute boy doll. He is, but when you compare him to like earlier boy dolls, he is a bit underwhelming. His death date is the same year that the original Exorcist movie was released. And I paid $30 for him, and he goes for $50 to $75. And that's it. That's all I have to say about Wolfgang. Now, the next doll is the MVD, which is the most valuable doll of the series, and that is Mildred. Now, Mildred was a doll I actually was very crazy about, and she was a doll that I wanted so much in my collection because at the time when I was collecting Living Dead dolls, I was going for the cute dolls, and she is the de facto cute doll. However, when I got Mildred, and especially in comparison to Arachne and Tina Black, I felt like she was very underwhelming. This is another doll that again, with her design, very cute, very cutesy. But behind the scenes, in terms of her backstory, her death certificate, and even the chipboard, try to make her a little bit more creepier than she actually looks. And again, she's an adorable doll. I love that I have her in my collection, but when you compare it to Arachne and Tina Black, she's kind of basic. Also, about Mildred, I thought it was really funny that she has the exact same face as Juliet, who's from the Romeo and Juliet 2-pack. And I just felt like they are very similar in look. Which again, I felt like it was just phoning it in. Her death date, which is curious because the year she died is actually a year after the series came out in 2005. So her death date was 6/6/2006, a number sequence Mezco loves playing with a lot. And that date is the release date of the Omen remake. I totally forgot they remade the Omen. Never saw it. But that's where her death date comes from. Her outfit is a weird material too. It's felt, but it's like the type of felt that you might use in a school project that you work with and cut out and make shapes. It's that kind of felt, and it's very stiff. She has this cute soft shirt right here. I mean, it's plain. I mean, this part is the only cute part right here. That part is more of the felt material that's similar to Sadie's dress. But again, not much to her. And her hair is not the greatest either. Like, it's very thin. Like, again, the effort into the dolls, very disappointing when you compare them to Series 9. And she actually is the most expensive of the dolls in Series 10. I paid $51 for her, and she goes for $70 to $90. So she will cost you a little bit more money. But again, because they do not come with any accessories except for the death certificate, if you are not concerned with the chipboard or the coffin, you easily can get her for way less than that. Like I said, her outfits are very cute, but again, she's just a basic doll. And that's all I have to say about Mildred. Now, last but certainly not least is Demonique. Now, Demonique is actually a character that existed as a handmaid. I actually saw her handmaid in the Disturbing Gallery, which I did a video of from the summer. And so I was able to see it in person. Here's a picture of it. So cute, especially those thick curls. I talked to the owner about her in detail, and according to Penny, she told me that the handmaid was based on the wife of a acquaintance, a friend that Damien knew. Damien was the one who actually made the doll. The doll, if you notice in the picture, she had a tan appearance. She is Hispanic descent, so Demonique is the second doll of color for Living Dead dolls. And her death date is the birthday of this wife. I think the thing about Demonique that, I quibble about is, again, the hair. Like, look at that hair. It's so thin. Especially when you have these cute curls. And I love the color of her hair. Like, there's a sassiness to her overall look. And just the hair is just awful. On the shelf, it's not as noticeable if you just fuss with it. But look how you could see that balding right here. And she has horns. here, very similar to Sin. Cute little makeup. And again, her backstory, she's a demon who got attacked by a zombie. Like, okay. Doesn't scream that on the doll itself, so there's that. I think her outfit's cute, except for this weird detail on her skirt. I have no idea what that is. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. The doll didn't need it. She comes with these fishnet stockings, these heels, you know, very sassy, very cute. I do have her resurrection, which I think was a great improvement on her in terms of the hair, especially the hair. And I can't wait to talk about her. And, you know, again, I don't have much to say about her. She's another affordable doll. I paid $46 for her, and she goes for $60 to $70. And that is Demonique. So that's it for Series 10. I don't mean to sound negative. It's just, again, after Series 9, this series is a major letdown. When I discussed Series 9, despite the dolls not having a theme or having accessories, I just felt like there was more thought and effort that went into their overall design, which took away the fact that they didn't have accessories. And then when you have a series like 10, I don't know. Again, it just felt like phoning it in. But again, if you are starting out as a collector, this is a great series to get like individual dolls from as a starting point into collecting Living Dead dolls. And again, they're really good dolls. Overall, it's just, again, when you compare it to Series 9 and when you see Series 11 afterwards, you could see why they're not the most popular series. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you again for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned for further Living Dead Dolls content. And do your research. Again, because they do not come with much, it should be very easy to get these dolls loose. You know, with just their death certificates for a good price. And as always, happy hunting.